disappointing performance by David Warner, but he'll be happy that his teammate Sam Billings led the team to victory and got them the second win of ILT20. A deep dive later on to Sam Billings' Instagram. An excellent run chase by Dubai Capitals. They won by 5 wickets. As we saw, Hayden Evans got that partnership in 183 for 4 with the Knight Riders. And then Sam Billings scoring 67, 185 for 5. And the Dubai Capitals won by 5 wickets. Joining me on Cricket Safari, the man of the moment and player of the match, Sam Billings, Simon Dewell and Niall O'Brien. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Sam, spectacular performance by you. What was going in through your mind when you knew you had that run chase?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, to be honest, I was seeing if I could keep going with the momentum after the 2 young lads were smacking it everywhere. So, yeah, it's a lot easier when the momentum of the game is going in your favour, and the way those two are playing, it really is special to watch at the moment.
Heard from David Warner at the post-match about the way the team wants to play. That's the message, clearly. How good is it to see that? I mean, because it's easy to say it, not as easy to do it.
Yeah, I think it's very helpful when, obviously, Jake is playing probably in the form of his life and playing without that fear. I mean, I'm jealous of a young player like that. No baggage and just going out there and enjoying his cricket. And Gurbaz, I mean, we're seeing it more and more. He's getting better and better the last couple of years. So, yeah, they're playing beautifully. And I think the partnership with Raza, we've got a real good chemistry. Running hard between the wickets is a huge component of both of our batting. So all of a sudden, instead of dot balls, kind of the pressure mounting, it's quite hard to pin us both down.
Because we see the boundaries, and we talk about the boundaries a lot, but Nobby and I were both on commentary, and we're talking about you running between the wickets, dabbing and running when it wasn't quite there. It's such a key part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Especially, it's similar to Australia in that there's not a huge wicket block, so the ball you have to run hard, even out to the outfield. It's so hard for the deep fielders to judge how far to be in because it doesn't kind of gather pace. So yeah, it's a huge part of the game, and like I said, all of a sudden you get lack of dot balls and then a couple of boundaries here or there, the momentum really shifts.
You mentioned the word baggage. Now, we sat probably 12 months ago having a coffee down at Jumeirah Beach, and you were talking about maybe a lack of form with your previous side. Are we noticing anything in the commentary box, what you're doing well, maybe not so well? Can you put your finger on last season maybe and how well you started this season?
Yeah, I think last year for me, I still got the scores, but it wasn't at the kind of strike rate that I would have liked. And I was really struggling to, obviously when you get yourself in, to really then kick on and get into gear 3, 4 and 5. But I'll be honest, like, I'm just enjoying my cricket. I've obviously retired, well, not retired, but stepped away from Red Bull cricket now. And I'll be honest, at my age now where I'm not chasing playing for England, you know, if that happens, great. But if it doesn't, it hasn't really been on my radar. So it feels like I'm just in a really good place mentally. And yeah, I think it helps hugely.
The England thing is an interesting point because you were in so many squads and everyone back in England, I live in England, Dooley spends a lot of time in England, you spend a lot of time carrying drinks, which we all felt looking from outer was unfair because your productivity was so good. Mentally, did that weigh in your mind? Did that affect potentially? And now you say freedom, clarity, enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not very enjoyable, I'll be honest, sat on the bench. I averaged 49 in the last 3 years in ODI cricket, so I can't really do much more. Obviously missed out on the ODI World Cup squad. And look, and that's where I think you kind of put the performances in and you're always that next man in. It does weigh you down. You feel like, what do I need to do to really get in or have a fair crack at it? But look, England cricket, let's be honest, is in a great spot. There's so many great young players coming in, so it's a really hard team to get into, especially when you're a batter. So yeah, for me, I think that's where the positive thing is now. There's so many opportunities. Had a great time in the Big Bash. Managed to get another winners medal. So yeah, I just want to win as many competitions as possible and play a huge part in any team I'm playing in.
Wait, Niall, you used to coach Sam, is that right?
No, he used to abuse me. I was a young player coming into the dressing room.
I do love bigging myself up, but I'm steady on air. I'm taking absolutely no responsibility for this wonderful man's young career.
And he's a young man. Take it.
32, still 32.
Don't look at that, do I?
And you're going to be a father. You're going to be a father next month, so yeah, exciting times.
5 weeks time, exactly. And I think that's a huge part of it as well. Like when off off-field stuff is in a really good place. I think it helps hugely. So for me, that's a huge part of why I gave up the Red Bull stuff. I want to spend more time at home and get that balance, really. So
that's one thing I think is so important, and something that you yourself and other sort of experienced players can talk to the young Fraser McGurks about. I mean, because that will happen at some stage, but that life balance off the field and coming onto the field, it makes a huge difference if everything's just calm and easy and there's no stress.
Absolutely, and also it's a big learning, I think, especially for these young players now. They've got so many opportunities all around the world. I was in a period where I was playing 11 months of the year, trying to do everything, trying to play Test cricket, trying to play everything, and it's impossible. You're seeing it with the best players in the world, you know, Virat Kohli, and various others. You're seeing people just get drained over a period of time. So that balance, you need to make strong decisions. You need to have good people around you where you go, no, you're going to miss out on this one. This is what you're going to do, and really plan them 12 months because, yeah, I was just wearing myself down and it wasn't enjoyable.
Difficult to do, though. Very difficult. You think, oh, this time because someone brings me, come play here, come play there. Difficult to say no and say, actually, I want a bit of time out. I need a bit of gym, I need a bit of fitness. I want some time at home with my friends and family. Absolutely.
It is very tough. And that's where I think having really good people around, especially the young players now, without sounding condescending at all, I think it's you have to get a balance. It has to be. You can maybe ride a wave for a short period of time, but long term it'll be pretty damning, I think.
Are you going to take the gloves when Gurbaz leaves to play international cricket?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'll be honest, obviously captaincy-wise as well, I find I can make a lot more informed and better decisions. All my captaincy has been from behind the stumps, and I feel like I get a really good sense of the game. It's a lot harder when you're deep cow or whatever. So, yeah, I think that's up for conversation, and obviously Davey leaves, but yeah, I'd like to, yeah.
Well, Sam McGurk had some explosive hits. I would like you to talk us through some of those massive hits that he had today.
There we go. You see, like, especially the tempo straight away. I love how high his hands are, similar to Harry Brook. With he doesn't obviously have a trigger as kind of dramatic, but that was a slower ball, a knuckle ball, and then really good batting as well when they brought square leg up. So I think his tempo of batting at the moment is beautiful. High hands, and he looks, the ball goes 100 metres, but it doesn't look like he's overhitting, and I think especially for a lot of players, senior, younger guys as well, whenever you're overhitting, I think that's when you get in trouble. But his base is hands and base. I mean, it sounds simple, but he's got those basics down to a T right now.
And I mean, we also have to talk about your catch before we let you go. That was incredible.
Do you ride bikes, mate? Because that bike might be coming your way at some stage. I mean,
we're not talking about the one today.
No, not today.
No. The previous one.
The previous one, where it was a bit of a. I mean, Nobby brought it up, and the keeping background helped us. There was a little extra skip step in there. We see it here.
Yeah, the right foot. You see it.
What was it?
What was it?
Well, what was it? What was it about that?
To be honest,
just show us. I mean,
yeah, I'll be honest. I'm really happy with that. I've hardly ever fielded slip in my life, and no, you're right. In terms of getting those feet moving, a lot of obviously slip fielders, you're kind of pinned down to the ground and you just move. But for me, especially when you want to be active and moving, you know, as a wicket keeper, if you want to cover a lot of ground, you have to get that little step in. So yeah,
very subtle, very subtle though, because you would, with your one step, you wouldn't have got there. It would have been a fingertip. It was just that little push off, just because you wouldn't have made that extra kind of couple of inches.
Well, you wouldn't have made it. You're
Well, Davey Warner said that actually as well, because he's a bit short.
Hey, you might need a bike because you spend your time between Canterbury and London and the traffic in London, so make sure you get that bike, lad.
I hope so. Well, you guys, I think, decide it, so help a brother out.
Well, you've got my vote so far, unless somebody does something brilliant.
Perfect.
Well, Sam, we're going to let you go now, but thank you so much for talking to us. Incredible today.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate. Well done.
How good was this team today? And if you talk about Sam, and if you talk about even Sikandar Raza.
Brilliant. I thought it was a terrific performance. And, you know, the pitch report, the guys are talking about the surface. It's a decent surface, a very good surface, but you have to be 15 to 20% above par. And I think Niles mentioned that as well. Sikandar Raza in this run chase, calm heads, experienced players, international quality players in Sam Billings and Sikandar Raza. And I think, Nobby, that showed in the run chase. But the job was done a little bit because they were so far ahead of the run rate, courtesy of Gurbaz and McGurk.
Yeah, 100%. The two youngsters up front really did get them ahead of the game, and the icing was put on the cake. But what I like about Sikandar Raza, he's assessing what's in front of him. He's assessing the 22 yards. He said to me before the game, you watch, you got to slap the ball. I said it with Darren Ganga. Late cuts on this surface, not quite so productive. You got to slap the ball almost baseball style and aim to hit over extra cover, because bowlers are going to bowl slower balls into the surface. So those cuts, you're not going to get good value. Slap it over extra cover, and if you can rock back a little bit like Andreas House did in his 90th, you rock back and pummel it, but mid-wicket. Don't think square leg, don't think deep point.
And we saw that from Hayne as well, didn't we? And that partnership with Hayne and Evans. They hit a lot of balls to mid-wicket and to extra cover.
Yeah, well, it's just assessing the situation, but they need more. You bat first here, you need 20% more above the par. Par is 166, so you're thinking 200. To be fair, 200 tonight would have been chased down.
That is true, but now talking about David Warner, not quite his day with his performance, but we know he can dance, and let's take a look. Well, he shows us some of his dance moves.
मैं हूँ David Shaitan Warner. People don't realise that it's actually endearing way to say cheeky little devil. So, you know, for me as a kid, I grew up playing alongside Uzi, and I'd always get these little cherries at tea time and start throwing them at the guys and leaving cherry stains because I thought it was funny. But I didn't realise that obviously Mum had to get the stains out, so they weren't too happy with me. Yeah, Pushpa, it's something that, you know, I watched, and a lot of people were calling me Pushpa for some reason, so I learned to do the action, and from there it just took off, and it was a big hit. But I think, you know, it's something to resonate with the crowd when you're over there. You know, it's not just about cricket, it's about entertainment, it's about putting smiles on people's faces, and that's something I really enjoy doing. Dek dere here.
David Warner can dance, and he's also one of the biggest stars that we have out here. And Dooley, he must be disappointed. It's been tough for him, not really peaking at this point.
Yeah, captaincy's been really good. I think he's marshalled his troops generally pretty well. And I like what he said about O'Keefe in the post-match as well. He wasn't sure, didn't bowl him in the last game. But I like what he's doing in and amongst being here, getting his team up and running. This wasn't a great review, let's be honest. And he probably, I thought he actually must have felt that he hit it. There were two noises, but it was crashing into the stump. So he was disappointed he hasn't got the runs he would have wanted in the first three games. But they're 2 wins out of 3. Captaincy's been really good. And just having him here and having that sort of nature that he carries into a dressing room, out onto the field, his winning attitude, I think that's one of the great things about David Warner. He wants to win, and I think in any franchise he will bring that to them, and he'll probably portray that as a skipper as well, and he loves the captaincy side of things too.
Well, I think we said before, ball was bowled all tournament. He brings that winning mentality, and as a player, when you've had a bad season last year, I think there was 10 players retained from Dubai Capitals. When you've had a disappointing season and you get someone that comes in and grabs you by the scruff and oi, last year wasn't good. We're going to do better this year. They got to the playoffs last year really without playing well, truth be told. This year, much better. I think you said David Willey normally expect him to swing the ball away, which he does, and a nip back. So it's just one of those. I think actually with the bat, Dooley, he's been a little bit tentative. He watched him against Trent Bolt, away swing, Bolt was all over him. Didn't play a shot in anger, really. So maybe just trying to feel his way into the tournament, which can happen. He scores a 50 in T20 cricket every 3.3 innings, so he's going to get plenty.
Well, when we talk about Knight Riders, it looked like they put a good score on the board, but not quite enough. But Sam Hain showed some promise. Yeah,
I mean, good from Sam Hain, and he's been through a rough patch as well. I asked him in the interview, you know, the up and down nature, the fickle nature of T20 cricket. 0, 1, 0 in his last 4 innings before tonight. He got a 50 before that, but he was good tonight. Square of the wicket, he's very strong, Niall, and I think that's one of the real strengths. They probably didn't make him hit down the ground quite enough.
Yeah, we know him very well, Dooley. We've watched him a lot over the last kind of 2 or 3 seasons. He's turned himself into, I'd say, a very good 50-over player. He was an excellent 50-over cricketer, a little bit in the mould of Jonathan Trott. Never really took himself out of the comfort zone, never put himself under real pressure to score at a high intensity. The last 2 years, why he's getting recognition around the world now, he's more aggressive, ultra aggressive. I think actually the first couple of games in this tournament, trying too hard. Against Trent Bolt, backing away, trying to carve Bolt's too good. it just takes a little bit of time. Sometimes a player to ease the way in. He's too good a player. That's why he's playing around the world. And nice to see him play well today. I still think, as a batting unit, somehow got to rejig that lineup. Yeah. I think the lineup for me just doesn't look quite right. When you've got the likes of Dre Russ and David Willey who can hit, Sunderland and Ryan who could hit, I would actually take a bit of a punt next game and I'd get David Willey to open the batting. Left hand, right hand, and say to David Willey, you've got 100, 200s in T20 cricket open batting. Go out and give it a lash, give it a smack. No point having David Willey in the hutch.
Well, and Imad as well. So they've got Imad, David Willey, Narayan, all three left-handers sitting at 8, 9 and 10 tonight, 7, 8 and 9. It is a free hit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're going to go take a short break, but on the other side, we did a deep dive into Sam Billings' Instagram. Welcome back. Now, great win for the Dubai Capitals. And joining me, Danny Morrison and Wasim Akram. Well, guys, talking about the game today, we did see some shocking fielding.
Oh, whose fault was that?
The fielders, I suppose, Danny?
No, I'm blaming it on the outfield. The dew factor here, very slippery tonight.
No, there is no dew, Danny.
Little bit, just a
little bit dew. There's no excuse. They're professionals and they're getting paid for it. Let's have a look. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, he got a little excited and the hand slapping down from Gurbaz right there, and he thought it was out. But no, got to hold on to those. And then Jason Holder, who's 6'8", and got massive hands, blew it.
Yeah, he had one job. To catch this one, and obviously the timing wasn't right when he jumped. Absolutely, it was a dolly.
But then we also saw some incredible.
Well,
what was it, Danny?
Well, you've got to keep your legs closed, don't you, as a keeper? Look, get something in behind it.
Simple technique, yes. They look a bit amateurish today, and we look at this one straight, and he's one of the best fielders, Andre Russell. It was right in his bucket, but dropped it, fumbled it.
That was there. Should have been taken 9 times out of 10. What was this one? Oh, the misfield.
Oh, it's going to turn, buddy, at this level. It's meant to turn. Common sense.
Yeah, frustrating, isn't it? Not too well, a bad luck, son.
It was a good effort.
It was a great effort. David Willey.
Yeah, it was a good effort. It wasn't a kind of amateurish drop, I reckon. But yeah.
He's a very good athlete. Got there, did well to get there, actually. Another night that sticks. Unlucky, big DW.
Well, we did see some bad fielding, but we also saw some water bottle skills. Was that better, you think?
Well, they've sent me down to have a bit of fun with this, but I mean, Gurbaz did it, and they were doing it on concrete. So
let's see what Gurbaz did.
No, see, it's not easy, that. It's the flip technique.
I've got advice for you.
Yes.
Stick to your day job, buddy.
But I still want to see what Gurbaz did. Let's see what Gurbaz did, and then maybe we can try our own water bottle flip.
Here we go.
It's all about the spin, Danny.
It
and
is.
the concrete slab
concrete
helps.
too. That was a pure and proper fluke.
Yeah, it was. And look at them go. They've just won the World Cup.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal, though.
This is good.
After seeing yours, especially.
I think Wasim, I want to see. Let's see how you get this one.
But you see, Danny said we need a concrete. It's on a grass.
No, it's unlucky. We can't.
I have a good excuse.
Could jinx it, though. Could do it.
All right, fine. Well, Danny, talking about Instagram game, I saw your Instagram game's pretty strong. We saw it today. It was a photo of the three of us, which I really liked.
Yes.
Had to be you two, innit? Really.
I mean, well, thank you for that. I feel really good. But you know what? We need to check out Sam Billings' Instagram because it's pretty on point.
Sammy.
Tell us about first you and your love for Harbhajan. He's made it to your Insta Reels.
Baji, yeah, we played together at Chennai when we won the competition, and yeah, phenomenal guy, very funny, and always a joker in the dressing room. We actually sat next to each other, and yeah, he was great fun. So huge admiration for what he did as a cricketer, but as a teammate, he was first class.
Last one, here's the picture. Explain.
So yeah, I'm not sure if you can see that, but this was 2016 and my first IPL, and travelling around India, we played in Vizag, and Paddy Upton, who I'm sure a lot of people know as coach, took us all out surfing, teaching us all how to do it. Very tough, But yeah, amazing experience. Travelling to different parts of India is always so much fun, and yeah, great experience.
Were you the best surfer in that picture?
So who we got? We've got Mayank Agarwal, we've got Karan Nair, myself and Paddy. Paddy was definitely the best. He's borderline professional. And yeah, I was definitely better than the other two. They were rubbish.
Well, now the Dubai Capitals won today. Danny, that's not good news for you, Danny, because when I think about the predictions, what did you predict?
Well, I got bullied into it, but having said all that...
Bullied by who?
By him. That guy there, Wasim Akram, he said to me,
I picked
Danny...
up Capitals.
Yes, like everyone. I knew everyone would. Everyone was going to go for the Capitals because they're favourites, and also they won the toss. But hey, for Venki, Mysore and the gang, I believed in you, and I tell you what, at 48 for 3 wasn't a bad comeback to get over 180. So they can be proud of that. They did all right.
Is that why you showed up without your golden hat?
No, it's a bit loud.
Well, tomorrow, you know, we got the Sharjah Warriors taking on my Emirates, top of the table.
I'm going. Who are you going to go with that?
I'll go with my Emirates.
Okay, I'll have to go with the Warriors now, because I hope Johnson Charles can play like this again.
Yeah, he's the man. He's in great nick, no doubt about it.
It's basically pretty much green belt versus white belt, Johnson Charles, and then obviously...
What about your belt? What are you wearing? Which one? What colour? Brown?
Danny, nobody cares about what belt I'm wearing.
Why not?
I think it's about Johnson Charles.
Absolutely. He's in tremendous form. A good player too. And a good lad. We interviewed him other day after the game in this cricket safari. He was very good. He was phenomenal. Johnson Charles, look at the shots he plays. I mean, he's just a powerhouse, isn't he, Danny?
Yeah, I love watching him in his home tournament there in the CPL in the Caribbean. In fact, he's got a stand named after him, the Johnson Charles stand there in St. Lucia.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, you normally get that when you finish playing,
Exactly,
don't you?
exactly.
Or you've passed on to the next life. But they've got one while he's playing. And then Darren Sammy, he's had the stadium named after him.
Yeah, because he won 2 World Cups.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
And well, what about fellow Kiwi Trent Bolt?
Well, he hasn't won a World Cup.
He's got a stand in his name in New Zealand.
No, a beach. he lives in Mount Maunganui, so nice. But hey, look, he can bowl, and he'll be up there again. He'll be challenging the Warriors with bat in hand, trying to knock them over.
And what's your final predictions?
Well, I'm going with the Warriors.
All right, well, you know what? All smiles and laughs right here from Dubai. Well, hope you guys enjoyed Cricket Safari. See you tomorrow.